Cameras ready? All right.
All right.
Whenever you are.
All right. Good to see you all again. Game week again after the bye. So, over the weekend, obviously being off this weekend, had a chance to watch watch the game live on TV of Miami and Duke, and I'll tell you what. Now this is a good football team. It's a really good football team, and hands down, biggest challenge we've had this year. Up to this point, and anytime you got a team coming in that's undefeated, but at this point in the season, and I mean, look, they have probably, one of, if not the leading Heisman contender right now. I mean, they're leading the league in every category, both sides of the ball. Offensively, they've got big, strong offensive line. I mean, their receivers are as good as there is. I mean, the one kid's the leading all-time receiver in the history of Miami. I mean, golly, I think we all grew up watching the receivers they had there and the type of players they had, at that position. And so it speaks volumes of what they've been able to do. And defensive line-wise, defensive front. I mean, we've seen some good ones this year, and this is the most talented we've seen up to this point. Look, I know Mario, very well, and he's a great recruiter. It's evident in the roster and in the development of those guys and the coaching staff they have. And they've done a really, really good job of putting this team together and getting them playing week to week. And this is where it gets hard. It is the continuing to maintain the focus and the determination of a squad. When to this point, he's done a really good job of it and really runs through that quarterback. And big, strong, physical running backs. They can run it when they need to and will. So. All in all, it's a big challenge for us. Hey, look, I mean, this isn't a big secret. We know we're the underdog in the game. And we got to prepare our best this week and play our best to be able to go out on Saturday and go out and compete the way we want to compete. So we're prepared to do that. We've started that already. We started last week. Had good practice on Sunday again, good one today. So keeping that focus and that determination that we have to be able to go out and compete. And we know the challenge in front of us, and there's things we need the crowd there. We need our students there and our fan there to go along to be there with us on this. And that's what makes this place so special. Is the students are there rocking. I mean, it's homecoming weekend, which everybody thinks the head coach has like a say in when homecoming is and picking that, and none whatsoever. Just get that out in the open. It's none whatsoever. I think it's just like, all right, that weekend it works best for the administration of the school and to get people back and whatnot. But all I can ask is I hope our fans and our students especially. Whoa, Thomas, T. Gore, Thomas. Thomas Gore.
Yeah, I do.
Just wanted to introduce him to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Y'all know who he is. See you, man. He's a funny kid, man. Really is. No, but we want our students to be able to take part in everything that takes place on Friday and throughout the night. And shoot, I mean, all day Friday night, or all night Friday night. I mean, let's get this campus rocking. Let's have it rocking and rolling. And shoot, I'm great if our students come rolling right into the stadium on Saturday morning from homecoming festivities. So we need those guys there. We need them loud. We need them there early. And can't wait to see them all there in the stadium. So, again, big challenge. Excited for it. Great opportunity to play college football this time of year. So, with that, open with any questions.
Update on Haynes King, please.
Oh goodness, I forgot to talk about injuries. We're hopeful. That was your emoji.
We can do a better emoji for hopeful, I feel like.
Or was it that?
Yeah, fingers crossed.
No, look, he Guys, I'm sorry I don't have anything else to tell you other than he's day-to-day. I don't. He's improving. Practiced. So he's out there. We'll see how we get to it, and it'll be a game time decision again. So that's where it's at. We're preparing everybody to be able to play.
I think we talked about this a little before, but third down conversions, I think 59%. I mean, what do they do on third down that makes them so successful?
Get the first. Get the first. It's real interesting when you look at them. I mean, I think first quarter of games this season, I think they're about like 80% efficient on third down. Third quarter efficiency, I mean, I think they're 75% efficient on third down. Fourth quarter, 71%. Second quarter, down like 30%. So there's some interesting things in there. Probably just stroke of luck or non-luck for them, but it's interesting how it's played out every game like that. But they do a good job. I think they have a good opening plan coming out. They do a good job at halftime, obviously, of adjustments, and it shows within that kind of breakdown I'm talking about. But they can run and throw. They can run it. They can throw it. So in the more manageable, shorter distances, they can run the football. They have all the add-ons that go along with it to get the ball in space if the box is loaded, or if they have access. Quarterback does a good job of using the time on the clock. I mean, they're elite. They have about 34 minutes time of possession right now. But they get to the line of scrimmage, right away, and then they allow the quarterback to be able to really see what's going on, communicate, freedom to check some things at the line. But then they'll get up to the line and at the same time and then snap it right away on a tempo play. So we got to be set, get our call in, be ready to go, and then sometimes it's a little bit of a waiting game until he makes the decision or the final check or whatnot. But it all goes within the flow of how they go, and then you get to the longer down and distances. Like I said, they have dynamic receivers. They have really good receivers. They're good with the ball in their hand. They're sure-handed, but then once the ball's in their hand, they can go.
Jackson.
Their quarterback, Cam Ward, he does a really good job of improvising, extending plays when they break down. How challenging is it to face a quarterback like that, and what are going to be the keys for your defense?
Yeah, well, it's challenging. It's exciting too. I mean, like I said, that's the reason he's probably leading Heisman Trophy candidate right now. I mean, they don't just hand those suckers out, but he does. I mean, I think in the Duke game he had 11 scrambles. 2 of those 11 converted for touchdowns. Now I think Duke did a nice job on a lot of the other ones, but 2 out of 11 run around, 2 touchdowns. That's so that's where you have to be careful. They do a good job of continue to stay active at receiver to get open, layer the field in front of the quarterback to give him places to go. He does a good job of, while he's running around and moving, of looking away. All right, so you can't really follow his eyes and see where he's looking, because he'll look over here and the last second whip it over to the other side. So we have to be disciplined. We have to keep everything in front of us on defense, which is challenging to say because they do. You look at them sometimes with all the free access throws they have, and you want to jump up and press them. And at the same time, you get those crazy scrambles, and you got to keep it in front of you and tackle the ball. And we got to be disciplined with our cage, and we have to be sure tacklers. We do have to be sure tacklers. He breaks a lot of tackles in those scrambles. Goes left, goes right, back left. Pops up to the middle, and then by some of them, I mean, you're talking 8, 9, 10 seconds. Some of these things last.
Coach, they've been in their fair share of close games. They've had a couple late game comebacks and everything. What is it that they do in some of these second half late game situations that makes them so successful?
I think there's obviously a confidence level there. I think they're confident in the quarterback. They're confident in his ability to make plays. They're confident in their team. And once you win a couple of those, it becomes contagious, and you keep going. So, but they've been in some close games, and they found a way to win, and that's the mark of a good football team, right? Because it's not like they've won half of them; they won them all. So, they like just telling you statistically, I mean, they've scored more points in the fourth quarter than they have any other quarter. So, it's a 4-quarter football team. We got to play 4 quarters.
You mentioned health and health-wise, trying to get healthy in the bye week. Where's Kyle at? Where's Jamal at?
We've got another 30 minutes, I'll tell you, everybody. I mean, look, guys, we're banged up. We're a banged-up team. We have been since early in the year. We've gotten guys back enough to be able to play, but then sometimes they'll be in there a quarter or half, and that's why we're really really the answer to the question goes back to continue to recruit and build the depth and develop the guys we have on the team for the long haul, and that takes time. It does, and some years you have a run of luck and you don't really have anybody get banged up or hurt, and most years you don't though. So we'll look and see on Saturday about 11:25 who's ready to go, and hopefully by about 2:00 most of them are still going if they can go, and the ones that backed them up are in there playing and they don't get end up having to leave the game. So those guys have all been out there. I can't sit here and tell you they're going to play though. We'll know that Saturday.
Patrick.
Coach, if Haynes King cannot go, do you have who plays quarterback for Georgia Tech if he cannot go?
You.
I don't think you want that to happen. Excuse me.
You want to play quarterback or running back?
Given the choice,
No. It's got to be it. There's the running back right there. Wow. I saw you dancing on the field today too.
I got quick feet, remember that.
Oh yeah. What was the question? I'm kidding. Well, I mean, they're all getting reps. They're all repping. It's not like all of them are healthy, either. So, but we got to have all of them ready to go. And if Haynes can go, that's a bonus. If he can't go, the other one's got to be ready as well.
Seemed like you had the gauntlet early in the year, playing 5 games before October, and then you got the bye week. Kind of came out energized after that. Did some self-evaluation this last bye week. Did you kind of do the same thing? Kind of feel like y'all got a little energized, a little bit of rest, but also kind of did some self-evaluation? Yeah,
you always want to do the self-scout. We do self-scout each week, and then each bye week it's a little more in-depth deal. The first one is the first deep dive self-scout is personnel and schematics, because you want to see guys that that have been developing and now might be getting opportunities to play more and more, as well as schematically. By the time now the second bye week hit, you're pretty ingrained in most of the time of who you are offensively, defensively, special teams, and ours is a little bit different challenge though because of some of the injuries offensively. So we've had to do some deep dives on what is the best for us with the personnel we have, and you've heard me say before, schemes are personnel driven. You don't just run a scheme to run a scheme, but at the same time you can't just change an entire scheme in the course of 3 days when somebody gets hurt. So it takes time, and it does. So we used some of the bye week for that. What's the best schematically for us to be able to do to have success. And then personnel, you kind of know who you have at this point, or you don't have at this point. And then who are the young guys you got to continue to work, and now who are the guys that maybe hadn't played that the 4-game redshirt deal doesn't matter. And so there's a lot that goes into it. So yeah, we spent a lot of time, but the number one priority was to re-energize and recharge and recover.
So with the underdog mentality, how do you sort of toe the line of expressing to you guys just how good Miami is, but also instilling the belief that they can go out there and still get it done?
Yeah, I wouldn't have sat up here and said this about what Miami is if I was worried about that. I mean, they turn the tape on. They're smart kids. We have smart guys on this team, smart people graduate from Georgia Tech, and most. They turn the tape on. They say the same thing we do. I mean, there's no sugarcoating, hiding things. That's when they start seeing through you as a coach when you do that. So, look, I stand up here and we talk about the opponent. we watch film on how we're going to attack the opponent in certain ways, but everything from here, it's about us. It's about preparing us, all right, to be the best we can be, to develop our team the best we can develop our team, all right, and be able to play the opponent that we happen to have that week. So, y'all here packaged together in about a 25, 30 minutes, all about something. Whereas the team, it's not like that. It's about them.
Mario, fellow offensive lineman, I just wondered, how similar your guys' approaches do you think to building programs, having that offensive line background? Is there anything to that, or is that just nothing?
Yeah, there's a lot to it. Obviously, I'm not inside the walls every day, but knowing Mario and knowing how his mentality, knowing his personality as a coach, having had the opportunity and the pleasure to work with him, good man. Believes in a lot of the same core values in a football program that we do here. So, those are the guys you cheer for. When it's not your week playing them. You really do. It's the guys out there that you think are building the programs the right way, and went through some adversity, and has continued to push forward and believed in his process and in his plan, and it shows on tape.
Your quarterbacks have done a pretty good job this season with decision-making and cutting down on interceptions, that type of thing. You're facing a secondary that I think has 13 interceptions. How important is the decision-making going to be in this game?
Yeah, and that is something I thought. Haynes has done a tremendous job of really improving on some of those things from a year ago, and the quarterbacks have done. They've done a good job with that. They understand that, to reserve the right to kick, you don't have to always force the ball in there and make the play, because it's one thing in practice, but then week to week, you can watch tape all you want, but the team speed changes in every 7 days of who you're going against. So, where you might have fitted in 1 week, and then all of a sudden now a guy's a tenth of a second faster. It's not going to fit in there as easy. So we've got to be smart with football. They are a very good football team on sudden change. When they get a turnover, their production offensively is through the roof. It really is. So we've got to be really smart. But that really goes every game. Take care of the football. Don't do things to beat yourself. Limit explosives, gain explosives. Those are the things that are really the huge factors in winning and losing college football games.
Coach, speaking of producing off turnovers, is there anything about the dramatic finish of last year's game that helps you inspire this year's team, or it's just completely unrelated?
Yeah, way unrelated. Way unrelated. It has zero, absolute zero bearing on this game, on this football game. None. Teams are rebuilt each year, for better or for worse. And you look at them. There's so many new faces on their team, so many new faces on our team. So there's no effect one year to the next.
Anything else? Alex, and then we'll wrap up with Chad.
You talked about the red shirt rule and kind of having a bigger roster, kind of like in baseball later in the year when rosters expand. Just how good is that to have more guys you can throw out there, especially for a team like you guys that battled injuries so much?
Yeah, you want to. That goes back to the developing of the kids you bring in, the high school kids. Recruiting the right ones that can develop. You always want guys that can come in and play, but also you understand that you also have to have the right mix of guys that are going to develop over the course of a year, develop over the course of 2 years, and that's how you increase the player availability in college football, because there's not a Tuesday waiver wire that we can go out and make transactions on. So the development of them through the week, and that's why we do what we do on Thursdays with the young guys, the developmental guys, of scrimmaging them and practicing them, so that this time of year comes, guys are able to step up in depth roles, and I think we really see it either be a huge help or a huge hurt, a detriment for a team or on special teams. That's where those. The safeties, the linebackers, the DNs, the tight ends, the running backs, receiver. That's where those guys and the depth of those positions really start to show on your teams.
Chad?
It's election day. I don't know if you were aware of that, because I know you keep your head down and game planning. So talk to your team about that at all Sunday, today, anything?
No, I didn't. I think everybody's pretty aware of that. I mean, there's an election in Cam Ward. I mean, I think they're the most obvious things like facing the world right now. So
So you voted for Cam Ward?
no, Haynes King.
Yeah, okay.
I'm voting for Haynes King. Hopeful. No, I didn't. Look, I'm a believer in everybody in this country having the right to be able to voice their opinions and voice their through the process, the democratic process we have. But that's not something we bring in the walls here. I'm sure there's some thing they talk about it in the locker room and whatnot. Look, I'm not a politician. I'm not. That is not my world. All right, so I wouldn't expect them to be talking schematic X's and O's, over a debate either. So no, that's each person's own opinion and beliefs, and what they want to do with that. So.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, go Jackets. 21-36.